Okay, hello and welcome to Bay 1. This is Trafalmaraxi, and yeah, we're going to be doing some Tier 3 streaming today. Let's just finish getting logged into the game client here. Still having some problems with doing streaming through the Steam client. It just doesn't seem to want to pick things up correctly. But hopefully down the line we'll be able to get that taken care of. Let's just make sure I'm correctly synchronized on Twitch before we actually go anywhere. There we go, it looks like Twitch is doing the things it needs to do. Yeah, I'm deciding to do Tier 3 because I haven't messed around in there for a while, and it's always interesting to revisit the lower end game. Yeah, I'm going to get a load of prompts going through this because just stuff I haven't done since the latest updates and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so I need to find an empty bay or create one. What do I have? I've got nothing already at the lower tiers, but I want to try making some pretty effective low tier designs. Let's scrap this thing and work from that bay. Okay, get through the friend invites as well. Okay. Just about getting there. Okay, so which bay were we on? We were going to use this one. So I guess I should probably start with trying to find out exactly what we want to build. I mean, there's a few different options of what we can construct at lower tiers. I mean, let's just see how much helium takes. I could probably go with building like a mini mosquito type design. They're always fun to try and play. If I just get some low tier thrusters. Yeah, I'm doing this completely wrong. I need more actual thrusters. Why? Because I have no idea, because I should already own a ridiculous number of these things, but never seem to have enough. Anyway, so with this I'm probably just going to stick a couple of plasma launchers on the side. Oh, of course you can't put them on the side, they have to go top or bottom. Well, there's something we can do about that. Let's try building the design. Will it cause any problems if I try to build this vertically? Huh. There's always a way to find out. This just changes how the whole design concept works a little bit. Although I think I still can't put the plasmas on the side, so that's still not going to work, is it? Alright. So what would I need to do to be able to make this work as I want to? Plasma top and bottom. And then we want the thrusters on the side. I'm going to switch to using prisms for this section here. And we're still easily within tier. And now let's just put the pilot seat on and do a test flight, see if this even works. So this is actually tier 2 with much higher tier parts. I'm going to see if this even flies. Sorry if you're getting a little bit of buffering on the stream, not a huge amount I can do there. So yeah, got no turning capability at the moment. And you can see where the tier 4 helium is obviously way too heavy for this. So I want to move that helium forward just a little bit. I could actually have that directly under the pilot seat. Considering it's going to have more armor than the rest of the design, it wouldn't be such a bad thing. And these, I can replace these with prisms for now. And put on turning thrusters here instead. And that should give me some turning control. Whee! Yeah, not the most stable design as yet. So what's actually happening here? Let's see if we can analyze why it's doing that weird. Why it's going up like that. There seems to be... I've probably actually got the center of thrust in the wrong location. So what's happening, because these thrusters here are on the same level as the pilot seat, that's just pushing forward, and these ones are actually causing that upwards movement. So let's solve this. So move these up one. That goes there, goes there. Turning thrusters. Then the plasma cannon goes there and one on top. Now let's see if that works a little bit better. Well, that seems to have solved the immediate issue there. Only now, instead of going up, it thrusts down, but that's actually easier to deal with. And the only problem now is that it's way too responsive on both of those axes. But maybe that's what you want. Now I could try to continue using helium, or there's something else I can try here that might have an interesting effect. Now if I take that helium block out, and I'm going to see what happens if I put on some hover blades. These are the No, I just want T2s. This is fritzing out because it can't decide where the actual center of balance is because of the 3 hover blade design on the back. Let's take out that middle one. Okay. Not intended behavior. I've got an idea. I'm just going to try something quickly. Take that thruster off there and go put one of these on the front and keep these 2 on the back there. Just want to see what happens. Okay, I now have a plan. I want to see exactly what happens when I try doing this. So putting all the weight below here, I want to put these thrusters there. Okay, pilot seat's in the wrong position. Okay, that's almost wanting to work in terms of a fire. Oh, I don't have enough. I've only got the forward thrust on one side, so that's what's thrown it out. Let's add those thrusters on the other side. And I can also add some on the central axle there. And now let's give that a go. A little bit too much forward weight now. Okay, so the hover blades aren't really doing anything to stabilize it in, especially as it still is top heavy at the moment. Let's move some of this weight further back. I'm also going to move that one back here. Prisms on each side, just a lower weight. I'll see if that makes any kind of real significant difference. It's a little bit unstable, but kind of getting there. What I'm going to do now is pull off the control thrusters there and move these onto the back, because it'll probably be easier to actually control the steering from the rear end. And it also takes a little bit of extra weight away from the front. Yeah, let's give this a try. So it's still a little bit bottom heavy. Well, top heavy rather, not bottom heavy. So to fix that, we're literally just going to stick a line of these blocks underneath here, which that'll also help to weight the pilot seat some as well. And now we'll see if this is any more stable. I mean, it flies after a fashion. It's kind of what we're looking for. The hover blades seem to give it some stability. Go on, roll over. We don't want to be like this. Probably don't quite need so much thrust on the front to get the lift, because I'm having to do soft little taps and need more actual forward thrust, I think, to take care of this. But the concept is getting there. Alright, I'm just going to go AFK for a second. I will be back in less than a minute. Please hold on. Okay, I'm back. Let's just turn off that overlay. Here we go. Right, so we discovered that it's a little bit more stable, but we want to reduce some of this upwards thrust. I can take these off now. I probably don't even need these blocks here. I can't actually put more thrust here though. Let's just put an additional couple of thrusters here and see if this is any better. Well, it's fast, certainly have that. Need to try and work on the stability side of things. We also need to work on actually getting off into the air more reliably. And control, obviously. Well, this isn't tier 3 yet, but oh yeah, it is fast. Essentially falling around the map. I might be able to do something else with this. I have an idea. Let's take this thruster out and I'm going to build up, put another hover blade on the front and see what kind of impact this has on the design. Ooh, makes it flip, but it's also a lot more stable and controllable now. Come on. It's a little bit more fidgety. Yeah, more or less can't go forward because of that additional hover blade. Wondering what happens if I put it on the other side so that it's just behind. That's if it'll allow me to place it there. Yep, definitely needs well, it helps with the self-writing side of things at least. I've got an idea on how to stabilize that turn now as well. Or that flip, as we'll call it. If I put another one back here. Nope, not quite. Doesn't like that at all. Maybe if I could drop that front one down just a little bit and still add some more thrust on here. I can certainly put more thrust on that now. So let's add some more thrusters here. This will probably help with the whole flipping situation anyway. Ooh, warp speed achieved. Damn. Okay, that wasn't quite the plan, but now I know how to warp again. There we go. A little warp flyer. Interesting. Now I need to try and do some stuff to get this more balanced. Because at the moment it's going to be an extremely vulnerable little vehicle. And I need to be able to get higher into the air. Okay, I need a down thruster on the front now to control this part, so let's put a thruster there, and that way I should be able to nose up and nose down. Nose down control's not too fine. Okay, I need to adjust the placement of those rear turning thrusters so that they can also help to control roll. Where they are at the moment it's a little bit too low down, and I need to be able to try and roll from side to side. So let's move that block up here, move these two so that they're above the pilot seat. And that way it should hopefully be above the centre of balance. Try this again. And this way when I turn, hopefully, yeah, you can see it's rolling a little bit when I turn now. So let's see if that works for... Oh, didn't want to loop. Alright, let's change the weight distribution now so it flips a little bit more easily. So I'm going to still need a little bit more mass at the bottom there. This should do for testing purposes. No, still too much weight, but I'm flying. Although I've kind of lost some of the warp capability. This isn't warping, this is just fine now. And now doing weird flippy stuff. So maybe moving that up wasn't the brightest idea. So let's drop this down by a block. And also reduce the weight that's being used on it as well. So that we're using prisms instead. And welcome to everyone that is currently watching the stream. I know I've got 6 viewers at the moment, not sure who's actually watching. You're more than welcome to post in chat and I'll give you a shout out. There we go, so it's warping. Okay, so it just had that weight a little bit too high. Wow. It's still quite unstable, but I can also always add more mass onto the bottom of this to help with that side of things. I don't want to use helium because that will add too much drag onto the entire design. But I do want to add more thrust and probably a little bit more. There we go. Oh, no, lost it. There we go. So it's quite sensitive to controls. It's just going to take some practice with learning how to actually control this properly. There we go. So I need one more. Well, we're getting there. More things I can do with weight here on the short term. Let's change those blocks out. This block here I can change to a prism. Can't change that one because it's being connected to the one above, but I can change this block here to a prism as well. So that's a little bit better on that front. Can't really do, well I could change that to Tetra. That one can't be changed. These, I could technically do something with these as well. Let's see, let's change that to a prism. And the one above connected the other way to a prism. It just takes a little bit of extra weight off the system there. And, or mass rather, and I could always use inners for here as well. But let's just see what that does to the flight dynamics. Wow. So the key here is learning how to control that. Because if you can learn how to control that kind of speed, you've got a very effective design. So now that I can get into a fairly stable There we go. No, too much movement from those rear thrusters. I don't want it to be quite that sensitive. So I need to move those rear thrusters closer to the actual pilot seat so they have less of an impact, because they're actually quite far back at the moment. So if the only way I'm going to really be able to do that is by putting prisms like this, taking this section off and then moving these back, and that's going to move it quite a lot closer to the seat, and it may actually interfere with these lower hover blades, so we'll see if we've still got any actual movement control here. Okay, yeah, we've actually now got control. Lost it. I banked a little bit too much. Okay, this is supposed to be a tier 3 design thingy, and I'm not really doing much in terms of tier 3. I'm actually messing around with this whole warping thing that I just worked out how to do. But now that I can bank, no, don't want to bank too much. Gets unstable. There we go. Now I need to work out how to make the attitude change a little bit more. Those are in the back. I might be able to do something on the front here. I'm going to put some more thrusters along the bottom. Okay, so we've got that. Just staying in place. I'm going to change that back to a normal prism and put these thrusters in here. Although that might be in danger of putting too much thrust on the bottom section here. And then let's move that one forward. This one forward one. I can't quite fit another one onto the back just yet until I put on this and put on... No, I'm tier 3. Although I could drop back down if I change from using orange blocks. Okay, something to note, the plasmas have a pretty big impact on how you fly. Still need some more fine control. And some more mass on the bottom, but we're pretty much there. Let's add a prism onto the front here. I'm going to put two like this, and one more up, and that should hopefully give me all the final control surfaces that are necessary. Let's reduce the mass here a little bit by switching to using inners. And the same on this block here. Do that from the other side. So that takes a little bit of extra mass from the front, and do that here as well. That way the mass is all kept towards the back end here, which is where we want it. And one final test flight, and we'll actually go into combat. The problem I've got though is when I'm actually up in the air, I have this weird, come on, break, there we go, break ground effect. I have trouble with stabilizing. I might be able to do something by extending the length of the vehicle design, because at the moment I'm literally using just 2 sets of blades to do this. Well, 3 sets more or less. Yeah, and you lose control at lower when going downhill. Anyway, combat. Okay, I look to be disconnected from the server because I'm not seeing anyone in the game. Let's just quickly restart. Now, am I going to see this actually populate with people waiting in queue now? Going waiting for players. Maybe I won't. Well, we'll see if anything actually comes up. Let's try actually making sure my chat is enabled just to see if that might be an issue. Apparently tier 3 isn't working. Well, so much for showing design in action when I can't even queue up at tier 3. Now that I've got the basic principles down though, I should be able to queue up for a different tier if I can just open a garage, build up a quick version of this. It's tier 5, I can lose my little Star Wars-esque land speeder. Okay, why are you so laggy? Right, let's recreate this. Wait a minute, we were at tier 5, so let's use the proper tier cubes for this. Pilot C, and this time we're going to upgrade the hover blades. Actually no, we want to stick with the lower tier hover blades for this because we don't want anything that's too strong. So this is approximately how we had them spaced. I'm not too sure, to be honest. But we can upgrade thrusters if we really want to. For now, I'm just going to try and echo what we had more or less. Up thrusters here, a down thruster. More of these like so. And I had another level of blocks underneath here. One of these sticking out. Add some more thrusters there. How was I doing the steering? Had a couple of thrusters right in here. Alright, so these must have been down a level. Well, we'll see. I'm going to just put the steering underneath the bottom here now, because I'm not really sure what kind of real impact that had on the design. And just some more thrusters, because it's never going to hurt. Let's add one more block to the front, add in some T5 launchers. How many of these can I fit on? Not many. There we go. You can move back a little bit. Take that off, and let's see if this thing even flies. Quick test run first. Well, it definitely flies. I was doing this at tier 3, but apparently I can't get into tier 3 at the moment because lobby bugs. So let's see if I can get anything at tier... Okay, tier 4 is the lowest I can go. Yeah, deserve to die on that one. Not so good, but practice makes perfect. Had a little bit too much trouble getting the nose up, so let's put another thruster on the front. Come on, let's buy another one of these. I could probably actually get away putting a tier 3 on the front there, just to help with that whole mess. And I could also put some tier 3s or even tier 4s on the sides there. Let's put tier 4 here. Change that out to a tier 4. Ah, I see. I can replace these ones. Let's buy some more. Reason for this tier 4, let's see, thrust is 176 versus... So it's not double the thrust really, but they also do more HP. The 1650 versus 600. So it's a trade-off that we're playing. And we can always have like one rank up here with one of these below, just to kind of echo the same kind of thrust layout. Can I buy 2 more of those and add some to the top? Just to keep everything even. There we go. Alright, let's give that another whirl. Just practice first. Just to see what that does to the movement dynamics. Why am I twisting around like that? What's causing that to happen? Apparently it doesn't quite like all of that additional. Something's causing the entire design to torque. It's very much top heavy, so I'll probably need to put some additional weight on the back, because, oh, that's why it's doing it, because it's actually too heavy on the front now. So let's get 1, 2, 3, another one, and I can put another plasma on the back there, and that might sort out the weight issue there. There we go. Wow. Crazy. Still need to sort out the flight control then. Well, learning to control this thing's going to be fun. Actually, I've got how much? always try putting some electroplate on this. There we go. Oh, I should call it electropaper as my friends refer to it. It won't allow me to do that because of collision. But what I could potentially do is use a couple of prisms here and here. Get those two electropapers. This one. Connect onto that section. Same on this side. And that way at least I have some form of protection around the seat there. Not going to be the most sophisticated, but it's better than nothing. And let's try fighting. No, I just lost all my hollow blades. Now I'm left to the manual. Ugh, no. Yeah. Terrible design. But fun when it works. Wow, the stream is skipping a lot of content. I need to see if this is actually OBS doing that or if it's the stream. Drops frames 84. Well, let's do some weight optimization before we get any further. Let's change that out. I need to swap these out for other blocks. So that's my primary focus, is those ones. Let's do the same there. I can change this one here. And this one. Did I already swap that? Yep. And that. There we go. So that helps to reduce a little bit of the front weight there. And so I'm not sure if I really need to do anything with these lower blocks, so Oh, boss fight. Yay. Get back up into the air before I'm effective. Come on. Get up into the air. No. I've still got some control over that. No. Bad gameplay by myself. Hello, Shortsy boy. What can I do to improve on this contraption? I'm going to build some weirdness. So that in the event that the bottom section gets destroyed, I'm not completely out of it, because I can put a lot more mass on this entire design without compromising the principles too much. I mean, these thrusters can probably be moved. I don't need them on the back like that. But it does mean that these need to be turned into a different type of block. Let's take the pilot seat out temporarily, so that I can actually place these prisms. Pilot seat goes back in. Put these back. And yeah, now I can return these thrusters to the fray, only have them a little bit, spaced a little bit further out. Although, if I was to flip the orientation of this one, I can actually have those thrusters forward one more. which would be the, or inner one more, which would be the preferred option. There we go. So now we've got some backup in case the bottom gets taken out and we don't lose everything at once. Although if the bottom gets taken out I'm pretty much dead anyway, but that's just some additional redundancy there. And I'm playing at low tier because sometimes it's fun and you also get to mess around with different concepts. This is a helium-free flyer that uses some, I don't know, warping I guess. And it was designed to, meant to be a tier 3, but tier 3 there's no one actually playing at that tier at the moment. Oh no, I've just up ranked to tier 5, crap. Let's just down rank quickly. What can I do to down rank? Okay, let's just replace all of these blue blocks with orange. Not enough. Let's replace these ones. There we go, tier 4, back down. And then play again. I need to rename this to tier 4, hold on. Okay, Twitch is updated to tier 4 now. Hopefully this still works. There we go.
SMG tank spotted.
Suicide. Yeah, deserved to die. But it's funny. Okay. The key to that is not getting into a situation where I'm just gonna tank on the ground. Now, in theory, I could try and build these sections out back a little bit more. And what I mean by that is, instead of having the central pillar, have a pillar on each side so that these aren't actually connected to this central section. It just reduces the number of points of failure. I could also build something from down here going up. Kind of like so. So that acts as additional armoring. And also reduces the points of failure. From there, I could potentially do something similar. Still connected on. I mean, I would need to, that needs to be changed. Oops, what did I just delete? Oh, the pilot seat. This needs to be changed to orange, that changed to orange. And then, now that I've got that in place, I can connect that up like so. So now I've got a shell kind of around the pilot seat. I've got lots of redundant connections in here, just as additional support. The electrode plate, which really doesn't do anything, but I'm just having it on here because I think it looks kind of cool. Although I could potentially rotate these around and make them more functional. Like if I place them like this. How much CPU do I have? Well, CPU is not a problem. It's how much rank do I have to spend on this. Now I can do one on that side and one on this side, and will I still be within rank? Yes. Okay, we're going to try that. See how this works. It looks pretty.
Plasma bomber spotted. Gun bed spotted. SMG tank spotted. SMG tank spotted. SMG tank spotted.
Alright, got someone that can actually repair back here. Let's go
SMG hover spotted.
get repairs.
SMG hover spotted. SMG tank spotted.
Well, this is actually easier to control without that rear blade.
Plasma tank spotted. Medic hover spotted.
It's a lot more resilient than it used to be though, with the additional armory. Yeah.
Rail hover spotted. SMG tank spotted.
So what happens if I actually take out this front hover blade? I more or less have no control if I take that out. But if I take out the rear one, instead, I have even less control. so I definitely need the rear hover blade on there. What happens if I have that lower down? That might actually be what's required. No, those thrusters don't work where they are. Let's just try playing again. No, not a boss fight. Especially if one of them's a flyer.
Interceptor spotted. SMG tank spotted. Interceptor spotted. SMG tank spotted. SMG tank spotted.
Yeah. Death. Oops, didn't mean to hit P. Let's move that rear. This one, backup one. There we go, battle. go. Of course, I still need to add a radar onto this thing.
Plasma hover spotted. SMG hover spotted. SMG tank spotted. SMG hover spotted. Drone spotted.
Well, that was lucky. But what can you say? A win's a win. Let's swap these out for good old inners, and I can do the same with those, except change these to, technically I could drop those down even further to prisms. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And go battle.
SMG tank spotted.
Yeah, there's not very much in the way of controlled flight going on here.
Medic hover spotted. Interceptor spotted. SMG tank spotted.
Come on, I need to get up the cliff, that's all. I just need to get up the damn cliff. Come on, up the cliff. There we go.
Rail drone spotted.
That wasn't your medic's most intelligent decision ever.
Rail drone spotted.
Okay, now let's try getting back up in here now. Ah, why am I having so many problems? This map is not good for this design. There we go. I can stop bouncing off cliffs all the time.
spotted.
That's a win. Okay, when I try to use this more like a conventional hovercraft and less like a insane flying machine, it tends to work pretty well. Oh, yay. Boss.
Plasma walker spotted.
Well, it's like to be him.
SMG tank spotted. Plasma drone spotted.
Let's see if I can go and take out that plasma drone. Nope.
SMG hover spotted.
No.
SMG tank spotted.
No. Fly, my precious fly. No. Terrible. Fell into that one.
SMG tank spotted. Rail tank spotted. Rail tank spotted.
Ooh, where am I getting hit from? That's not good. I'm getting hit from somewhere. I'm getting hit by a flyer. Yep.
SMG drone spotted. SMG tank spotted.
I'll take that win. Probably one more round and I'll call the stream quits. Rail drone spotted. Rail drone spotted. Do we have anyone with a medic laser? Oh, there's one over there. Let's see if I can get to that dude. Just made the whole process a lot harder, thanks.
SMG tank
medic. Did they just take him out? Yeah. Oh well. Hi Regalia, you're actually joining me just before I'm about to end the stream. Just because you're watching, I'll go ahead and do one more game. But yeah. Yeah, this is my somewhat esoteric flyer design using no helium. It's just got hover blades, thrusters and plasma. It's not the easiest to control thing, but it's somewhat amusing to pilot. So yeah, let's just go ahead and play it and you'll see how it works. First thing we have to do is just use the space key just to lift yourself off the ground a little bit high enough to help break the ground effect from the hover blades. So done that, and now just a matter, oh god, didn't mean to flip like that. Just a matter of toggling the thrust until we can actually get up into the air. There we go. As I said, not the most controllable flyer, but if you get into the stable configuration, it's fast.
SMG hover speed. SMG hover spotted.
Ooh, I've got a plasma actually trying to attack me from above. Unfortunately, I've not got enough control to try and take out that other plasma, so I'm restricted to more conventional warfare. Let's try taking out this dude around here.
SMG tank spotted. Rail hover spotted. Plasma tank spotted. Plasma bomber spotted.
No. Yeah. Well deserved death. But yeah, it's if I can actually work out how to make this a lot more controllable, it'll be pretty much a beast design. Still working on that though. But yeah. Anyway, thank you for everyone that has watched this stream, and I will come up with some other crazy concepts at some point, and hopefully you can take a look, see what you can do, maybe improve on those and give some feedback. That'd be more than appreciated. Don't forget to subscribe, which if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a subscribe button below somewhere, and on Twitch there's obviously the follow button. But yeah. And I will see you in the next video, which may or may not be Robocraft. At the moment I'm switching between Robocraft and TerraTech. So please feel welcome to check out the TerraTech videos. It's a pretty interesting Robocraft-esque game, and I'm probably going to do a lot more content on that because it's a pretty fun thing to play. Anyway, yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.